Hi, I'm Zibby Owens, and I am the host of this podcast, Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. I am also a newly minted USA Today best-selling author of the novel Blank. I've created a whole community of book lovers around this podcast, a publishing company, reading retreats, a bookstore, and more. Learn more at zibbymedia.com or follow me on social at Zibby Owens or join the community at Zibby Readers. Poppy Harlow and Laura Jarrett are co-authors of the children's book, The Color of Love. Poppy Harlow, a previous guest on my podcast, recently and very publicly has left CNN, but was the co-anchor of CNN This Morning, weekday mornings, and was at CNN for over a decade, which we talk about. She was the creator and host of the CNN podcast, Boss Files with Poppy Harlow, and author of The Biggest Little Boy, A Christmas Story, her debut picture book, which we discussed. She is the proud mom of daughter Sienna and son Luca, with her husband, Sinisa. Laura Jarrett is the co-anchor of Saturday Today and a senior legal correspondent for NBC News. Originally from Chicago, she now lives in New York City with her husband and 2 children. Welcome, Laura and Poppy. Thank you so much for coming on Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books to discuss your co-authored book, The Color of Love. Congratulations.
Thank you for having us. We love Zibby.
Oh. We're so excited to join with you today.
Yay. Oh my gosh, your book was so sweet and so great. And I've been sitting here being like, what is my color of love? And I feel like it's going to change depending on the day. Like there's so many different situations. So anyway, tell listeners about the book and what it's about and how you came up with it and the whole story.
I'll just start out by saying like what a joy it is to write a book with a friend, like because people don't know children's books are a multi-year process. You know this, Zibby, because
yes.
The collaboration and then the illustration part really makes it longer. But so Laura and I have had this joy of an experience. It started during COVID. So a lot of it was on Zoom, the 2 of us, and we were already good friends working together at CNN. But I mean, I'll speak for both of us, Laura, just saying, I think it made us so much closer because in tandem, in parallel with writing this book, we were raising children, young children of similar ages. So we were like, we'd lament at the beginning of the call about like a Zoom, about the hard things that were happening in our lives and then the great joys of the kids, and then collaborate on something that had a lot of meaning for us. So it's sort of this new experience for me of being a co-author, and I've loved it.
Oh,
it really did make it so special to do it with somebody who is equally type A and task oriented, right? People always say like, how did you have time to write a book? And I'm like, well, you didn't write a book with Poppy Harlow. She kept us on track. We had meetings. We stuck to our drafts. We kept things like moving. There were no delays. Okay. She kept us on track.
That's like the thing with partnership, right? Sometimes it's really great to be on the same page. And then sometimes you need one type A and one not type A. But in a book project, I think this is particularly helpful.
I was just thinking about this yesterday, Laura, like as we get ready to launch the book, I'm so excited to come on with you, Zibby. You're our first big interview.
Yeah.
I was like, we didn't have any like roadblocks together. We didn't have any issues. Like we went through some iterations of we knew the core of the story we wanted to tell, which was, I'll just get to like the genesis of it. The idea for us came after George Floyd was murdered in my hometown of Minneapolis. And Laura and I are thinking as parents, as journalists, how do we like talk to our children about love and inclusion and, you know, hate in the world that exists? And like, how do we do it in a way that is going to be meaningful and touch children and families? And so we went through a few iterations of how we were going to tell this story, right, Laura? But
yeah,
you didn't ever hit like, I can't work with her or this isn't working. We got lucky.
No, I think partly, Poppy, it was your sort of genius and your outreach to me saying like, I want to do this project, but I don't think that I can do it alone. And I need a partner in this who's going to offer a different perspective and her openness to someone who might have had a completely different experience when it comes to race and like hard issues that we want to figure out how to talk to our children about in a way that's age appropriate and not sort of like beating them over the head with a message, but clearly has a viewpoint of inclusivity and of embracing all different kinds of families.
How old are all your kids?
I have 2. almost 2 and almost 5, and they are a handful. So Poppy has given me lots of tips on how to deal with embracing the chaos that is my house.
Yeah, Laura's in it. Let's just come on, moms listening. Laura's in it, and it gets better. Okay, you'll see at the end of the book. These are our kids. So mine, Sienna and Luca, are 6 and 8, and then you'll see our great illustrator, Elisa Shavari, with her 2 children there. You'll see the kids holding hearts because all of our kids cut out hearts themselves, which was a very messy project in Laura's living room. And then those are actually the hearts that we send to our publisher and illustrator, and these are the hearts, right? So the hearts are actually copies of what the kids cut out themselves. But Laura is in it with that age, and I'm telling you, 6 and 8, I'm like, can you make your own pancakes? Like, I'm like, did you fold your laundry this morning? Let's go, guys. You know,
see, task oriented.
I'm a little ahead of, so I feel like I can look back on both of you and be like, it gets even easier than that because I have 9 and 10, and then I have twins who are almost 17, which is crazy.
Whoa.
I know. Yeah. So you can survive. Yeah. It just keeps getting better, I have to say. But nobody is making pancakes. We got to making their own Honey Nut Cheerios. Like it's better. Is a thing. In addition to the very powerful, real important themes of the book, I have to just go to the superficial, which is I need to buy this dress. There is a dress that the teacher is wearing, and it is the cutest thing and reminds me of this wallpaper in my grandmother's bathroom growing up that was like so happy and everything. It matches the cover with all these colors and anyway, is this a real dress? I have to ask.
It's not a dress that either of us, I think, own, but we wish we did. And that was one of the great things is when you have an idea of what it's going to look like, and then you actually see it come to life. And as Poppy said, Lisa, the illustrator, is magical. And she sort of captured at least what I think our vision was and made it even better than I had expected.
Totally. So in news where Laura and I both work, you write a script, you write a piece, and then it's the editor, right? The video editor and the producer on the piece that help bring it to life. And I kept thinking about that, Laura, like working with Elisa is analogous to that. Because even if you have a great script, if the edit isn't magic, it doesn't, what I call sing.
Mm-hmm.
And our story sing.
That's so true. And Poppy, speaking of news, you just left CNN in a very public departure. Oh my gosh, how are you feeling about it?
I feel so deeply grateful and like at peace. And Laura was with me really every step of this journey because it's been my whole professional career. I've been there almost 20 years. And so it was like, I felt it that I was ready for the next and ready for something new, but it's very hard to leave a place you love so deeply. And I say that like from the bottom of my heart, it does feel like family. And I cannot say enough about how wonderful they have been and continue to be. Mark Thompson, our great CEO, and Amy Antelis, the two of them, held my hand through all of this and completely understood why I was ready to go. And they're hosting a little party for me next week, which just means a lot to me. So like, it's never going to be easy to leave a place and you're going to grieve all that was. But then I've been thinking a lot about grieving in terms of like, they say grieving is like showing that you loved, right? And that you got to love. I'm not saying that correctly. And so I leave just with like a full heart and a lot of excitement about whatever is next. So I just feel grateful that place raised me. I grew up there as a journalist, as a person. I made so many mistakes. I learned how to lead. I sort of fell on my knees and they picked me up. And I don't know that we can say that about all corporations. I don't, so I'm full.
That's so nice. The quote, the best grief quote I've heard lately was by Nicole Avant, who said that grief is the receipt to show all the love that you've given in the world. I think I messed that up, but it's something about a receipt, which I really
love
like.
that.
Right?
You did way better than I did. I love that.
We can all mangle these quotes, but anyway. So now you two can just become professional. And Laura, I know you're busy like covering trial and all that. Like,
there's this little trial that is just taking up all of my extra time. But in the time that I'm not in the courtroom, I'm squarely dedicated to The Color of Love. This has like been the best possible outlet, I think, for both what's happening both in my life and Poppy's life right now. Like the color of love is all like goodness and like all of the things we wish the world to be. And so it's like been this great sort of like amazing other outlet for us.
That's
100%.
Yeah. So now you'll just take it on the road. You can, I bet you could do like 50 of these a year, if this is all you were doing.
So much harder. It took so much more time than, right, Laura?
Well, because what the thing I realized is we were doing the recording for the audiobook is that, children's books, I don't know if you guys have found this, but my son is very persnickety. And so if I, stumble over a word or try to speed through something and skip over words, he's correcting me every step of the way. And I realize how they are just so zeroed in on every single word choice. And so when you're writing it, obviously you should always have an economy of words for anything you're writing, but children's books, even more so than I appreciated it, reading it out loud. It's such an exercise, and it's such a great experience reading things aloud to your children. And so it's just, the process of writing this just sort of brought that home to me.
Yeah. Brevity, concision, right? And every word matters, which is actually a great life lesson for all of us, right? I mean, former cable news anchor, clearly I like to talk a lot, lots of words. But actually in life, I think we're better served with fewer, more thoughtful words. And that's actually what writing a children's book is.
Yeah. That's true. Sometimes it's about what you take out. And what is it about kids? My kids do that too. It's like there's glee every time I stumble over a word or I say the wrong thing. They're giggling and pointing it out. I'm like, okay, I know you're about to jump on me for this one.
He can't help himself. And I say to him, James, I've been up since 4 a.m. Mommy's going to trip over her words. And I try to show him it means I'm human too. That's lost on him. He's just you should be able to get this right.
Yeah. They're all so cute. But the great thing about The Color of Love, too, is that you get people to think about all sorts of traditions and forms of love and cultures, and you do it in this very, as you said, positive and happy way, whether it's the silver of the menorah or the stew on the table. I'm getting the word wrong. What is it? Not gumbo. What's the...
Yeah.
Gumbo.
The roux.
Yeah.
Yes.
The roux. Yeah, that was it. The roux. And that was so cute too, by the way, having a younger sibling hugging her older sibling who's cooking. And oh my God. Anyway, so that was really heartwarming. Just all the different ways to celebrate the Jamaican flag. It's a really neat way, and it gets everybody else, hopefully when they read it, to start conversations too. What is your color of love today? Or what is your color of love as a family? If you two had a color of love today, what would it be?
Ooh, I know mine. Yeah, you go first. No, you go first.
You know it, counselor. Go. She's a Harvard educated lawyer, by the way, just dropping that in there.
Amazing. Okay, great.
Well, a Yale educated lawyer is just...
Dude, I did 1 year, Laura. Master's degree.
This is what, again, two type A lawyers do to each other. One up each other on their nerdiness.
I love it. I love it.
Maybe the first ever Harvard Yale children's book combo. I'm gonna look that up.
I know. I might have started something here. A scandal.
I went to Yale and Harvard Business School. So there you go. I'm going to jump right into your love power.
Laura, she did them both. Okay. She did them both.
Nothing to sneeze at. Honestly, Zibby, my color is brown because when I look at sort of the united color of Bennington, that is my own family. My son has pointed out to us every shade now of brown. And it was part of what I thought I wanted to get across in the book with Poppy, is that children see color. Mm-hmm. Children are not colorblind. Children are well aware of color. And my son constantly points out, you're a little bit lighter, daddy's a little bit darker. They just don't have all of the baggage caught up into it, right? So they see it and they understand it. They're just not bringing any negativity towards it. And I think that's sort of one of, the beauties of childhood. And so brown would be mine if I had to pick a color. I don't know if Poppy has.
If only we could just keep it like that, right? Why does it have to change? Why can't it be only just something you look at and comment on and has no associated meaning? Do you know what I mean? Just why can't it be a color?
Yeah, but they're going to learn and need to learn the important history behind it, right? Because only from learning our history, full history, can we improve, right? And
Well,
make
of
it the
course.
more
Yes.
perfect union. Yeah. And to Laura's point, like, they do see it. And I remember the first time that Sienna said to me, like, oh, your skin is this color and their skin is this color and all those things. But they celebrate the different Zibby is what you're saying. Like they
Yes.
celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great point. Mine is yellow. Every day mine is yellow. Forever yellow, like the yellow book, across. It just makes me so joyful and so happy. And I'll remember when Luca, my son, all our kids, by the way, our 4 kids are in the book. You'll find them. He brought me yellow tulips or daffodils. And he's like, because I know your favorite color is yellow. And it melted me. So yellow is my favorite color, I think, because of the joy that I have some days and the joy that I need some days.
Yeah.
You can always find it in yellow.
Amazing. Will there be a follow-up book to this? Is that in the works? I know I was joking before, but
I would love for this to become a yearly project for Poppy and I to take on. And
Amen.
I think that the great thing about this is that hopefully families and kids and teachers will attach to it. It was fun. I got to read it to my son's class and then a bunch of other classes at his preschool. And it was funny to see like what the kids attached to and what they found interesting versus like what I thought they were going to find interesting about it. And, like some puzzled looks, but then other things they definitely related to. So I hope that we can keep this going and turn it into, its whole multi-part series.
One of the fun things to Laura's point about like doing this in the classroom, I think I asked, I forget if it was Sienna or Luca, like, do you want mommy to come read this to your class? They're like, no. I'm still going to go, by the way. I'm still going to show up at some point to school before the end of the year and read it. But for any teachers who might be watching or listening, we also wrote this with a sort of classroom project in mind. Of course, parents can do it at home with their kids like Laura and I did. All you need is construction paper and scissors and some tape to put it up on the wall or whatever. But like, we think that this is a fun classroom activity for teachers listening. They can also spark some really meaningful conversations with the kids in the class. And when they go home to ask their parents about, their assignment. So we hope people will enjoy doing that too.
Maybe you could do like a birthday party kit.
Yes.
People are always looking for birthday party themes and party suits.
Harvard Business School, Harvard Business School coming out here. Love it.
Or a board game. I feel like a board game would also be really great.
Zibby is going to help us scale up the color of love.
Yes. But it's really great. And the colors are so happy. And it like the way you've already branded it is great.
Yes.
I don't know. I think you got to, lean in.
Laura, we need to lean in. I have some time, Laura. Try to figure that out for us.
Poppy, do you know what you want to do next, or you're just going to take a little breather?
So I said in my note that I am truly going to walk my children to school and pick them up on most days. The other day, they were so hard when I picked them up, and I was like, why did I agree?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Like, wait a minute.
Because for the entirety of my experience as a mother, I have never regularly walked my kids to school. Before I was on the morning show at CNN, I anchored the 9 to 11 a.m. show. So I was still in the office by 4:35 a.m. So I've never had this experience that the last couple of weeks have given me. And the things they say on that 8-minute walk are extraordinary. I'm reading a book recommended to me by a friend called, Zibby, you might know, all the books, called It Goes So Fast.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Parker from NPR talking about, and I think it's the year of no do-overs. So can I just say that I'm going to try to have It Goes So Fast year of no do-overs with my family? So that, yes, leaning into them, but also working. I love working. So I want to keep working. And I have some exciting projects that people have reached out about that I have had in my belly for a long time that I want to lean into. One of them might involve cooking. No one that is this will be, who knows me, will be surprised. I love, love, love cooking. So let's see.
Good tease.
Let's see what could happen. Have meetings, explore, sleep, breathe, take my kids to school.
Yep.
And try to reclaim some of what I lost in terms of like not having these mornings that are so special.
Yeah.
You realize when you've been working since you were probably what, like 16 or 17?
13 Amoco gas station.
Okay, there you go. 14 tour bus guide. You realize like we there's never been a time where it was down, right? You're just constantly going on to the next thing. You're just like, we all are. And that's sort of why we're doing what we're doing. But when you actually like have a minute to like sit back and reflect and actually think in peace, it's like a gift.
I don't find it that easy though to just like sit back and think and relax. Like I don't know. Do you find that easy?
No, that's why
I haven't done it yet. I was like, my husband the other day was like, what do you have going on today? And I was like, this. He's like, that's not what you signed up for. So I need to do a little time editing. But at the same time, when people reach out and are like, can we have lunch? Do you want to have a meeting? How are you? I'm like, wow, you want to talk to me? Like, that is also like, oh, okay, sure. That's exciting. But I do think a time audit is needed because to some really wise woman told me, she's the other week I met her, she's a performance coach for Formula One drivers and IndyCar drivers. And she told me, her name's Angela Cullen, and she said, Poppy, to speed up, you need to slow down. So
maybe.
So maybe my birthday gift to myself, by the way, this week, every day I'm going to meditation classes.
Happy birthday.
Zibby, if it works, I'll let you know.
Okay. I do think though that there are different ways people relax. Like some people, it's really helpful if they meditate and do yoga and, they can, but some people relax by doing other things, right? Like relaxing is being just as, focused, but you're not doing it maybe on the news, but you're doing it in the kitchen, right? Like that's still relaxing. Like it doesn't have to look the same for everybody, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The color of relaxation.
Exactly.
Laura, Zibby, you're so right about that. What's your relax mode, Laura? Reading brief?
Watching something of no consequence on HBO Max. I mean, I do enjoy cooking, but I am the last person who's going to do like breath work, meditation, cold plunge, like I get it. And I'm so glad that some people are finding that useful, but it's like, I just can't. I just like put me in front of a television with a glass of wine and a bowl of popcorn.
Amen.
I feel like there's a little shame in not being able to relax properly. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yes, because our whole culture now is pushing us overdrive on work and also pushing us overdrive on self-care. Everything is, you have to make time for yourself. You have to have there's no time for ourselves.
Oh.
There's no time for self-care. Yeah. We're working, we're moms, we're busy, we're wives. We're like, we have parents who are getting older and responsibilities. But there's pressure now to make sure you have enough time for yourself.
Yeah. I don't want time for myself. If anything, I just want more time to read. Oh my gosh.
What's your relaxation, Zibby?
Honestly, reading.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally, like with my husband, we'll watch a movie or, whatever, but I don't like to just, I have to be like, this is what, like, we should watch this, or like, people have said this is good, let's try this show, as opposed to, I don't know, let's just like waste the time and find something. I don't know, that stresses me out. Oh my gosh. In your spare time, are you reading anything yourselves? Grown-up books, kids' books that you love, anything else?
Court transcripts, Laura?
I was gonna
or not, which is fine.
The honest answer is definitely not.
Okay, fine.
The honest answer is I am knee deep in. If you saw my office, which I have carefully not shown you, it's stacked full of old indictments and court transcripts.
Oh my gosh,
pouring through every night. So that's why when I'm not doing that, I just I get my fill other ways.
Other ways. I would say that was my life for a long time. I never could read for pleasure or joy. And I'm still not great at it. I don't find a ton of time in the day, but I am reading that book. Yep. It Goes So Fast, that I just mentioned, by Mary Louise Parker. And then a friend recommended a book I just ordered. So it's one of those sitting on my book stand, I will read you at some point, called Between Trapezes. And it's apparently like about when you jump from one thing in your life to the next, but you don't know what the next is. So you're between trapezes and how to like savor that time and make it meaningful. So I'm like in midair. I don't have a trapeze to grab. So I'm like, okay, don't fall. So I'm going to read that book next.
Amazing. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you. Sorry we weren't in person, but next time when you're next time out. Yep. Thank you for the color of love. I am now going to make it my mission to try to find a dress like this because you both need to be wearing this dress on your tour and everything. Anyway.
Thank you so
We're
much.
We're happy to inspire your wardrobe choices.
Yes, thanks.
For having us. We'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, very excited. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye. Thanks for listening to Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books. If you love it, please leave a review and follow us on social at Zibby Owens and at Zibby Readers.